Of the Super Force clash between India and Afghanistan, and the update just comes of the toss that Afghanistan have won the toss and elected to
Bowl first if it's Dubai.
bowl first. Yes, Afghanistan have won the toss and elected to bowl first. That's the update. Sorry, there was a minor glitch. So this is unfortunately India's final match again in the Super Force clash. They have been eliminated, so have Afghanistan, but the show must go on. And before I delve into the details, I would like to welcome my distinguished guests for today's show, Joydeep Mukherjee and Nishant Jeet Arora. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining. Now, gentlemen, before I request both of you to give us your thoughts, we have a video. Boria Das sends us his fantasy 11 for this final clash between India and Afghanistan. So, if I can request our production team to play that video for our viewers to see.
When you play fantasy, there are three simple points. One, fantasy is not a cricket match, it's a fantasy match. Number two, you clearly have to see not your favorite players. So because you're a Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma fan, a Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma cannot be captain. Period. You will have to go with an impact player, and an impact player in a T20 match cannot come at number 6. Very rarely will you get points. Finally, you have to see a bowler or a batter who will bowl at the death or bat at the top. That's when maximum number of points are scored in any fantasy contest. It's India's last game here in the Asia Cup, and all of us know that India is not going to make the final. Having said that, every game is important. Firstly, this is an international fixture. Think about it, that if you want an Indian win, or if you're an Indian fan, you will say they've lost all 3 games in the Super Force. You can't afford that. Every game internationally is of as much importance as the other. And if you're a fantasy player, you must also keep in mind that Indians will express themselves more, perhaps experiment a tag, try and get the combination right for the World Cup, because all they have, Australia, South Africa, and then it's the World Cup. So if you're playing fantasy for this particular match, my fantasy masterclass keeps all of these factors in mind. That it is the last game, India will experiment, India will try and get its combination right. At the same time, Afghanistan has had a good tournament. We've seen how they were against Pakistan, except those last 2 balls. They had Pakistan on the mat with a decently good bowling attack. So keeping all these factors in mind, my wicketkeeper has to be Rahmanullah Gurbaz, because Rahmanullah Gurbaz will go hard at the top and has always the possibility of making use of the power play. So wicketkeeper Rahmanullah Gurbaz. I will go with the Indian openers. I would also want to see, if Surya Kumar Yadav is tried at 3, if he does, then 1, 2, 3. Virat might open. If that happens, Rohit, Virat, Surya will be my team. If they still open with Rahul and Rohit, again, I will go with the Indian openers, because I think they will express themselves. In the middle, for me, yes, Mohammad Nabi has not done too well. That is why the only all-rounder here has to be Hardik Pandya. I will not go in with a Deepak Hooda. So what do we have now? We have Rahmanullah Gurbaz. We have the top India 3, either a Virat, Rohit, Surya, or we have Rahul, Rohit, Virat. And in that case, I will also have Surya, because I think he's the most expressive of the Indian batsmen who can get me that big, push towards the end. From the Afghan side, I will obviously have Rashid Khan. Rashid can also get a leadership role because he is bowling beautifully, can bat lower down the order with those extra runs. So Rashid Khan will come in. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar towards the death has been poor. So that is something one will keep in mind. Yuzvendra Chahal walks into the team. If they go in with Ravi Ashwin on a slowish wicket, he will also walk into my team. So I'll pack it with a number of spinners. I will keep Mujibur Rahman because he has that ability at the top to get some wickets. Mohammad Nabi, that's my only debate at this point in time. So if you're playing fantasy, give yourself maximum opportunity to get points. 3 reasons. 1, if there is an all-rounder who has the ability to bat, tonk at the end and bowl, go with it. If you have a top order batsman who can still come and roll his arm over and get in 2 overs, there is always that possibility of 1 extra wicket, go with it. If you have somebody who has the ability to hit the big shots and make the most of the opportunity, go with it. So that's what I have kept in mind while making my fantasy team. Leadership, Rohit Sharma looked fabulously well. Always a possibility when the hitman's back in form. Hardik Pandya, eventually you will need an all-rounder. So he has a leadership role, or a Rashid Khan. So that's how my leadership role shapes up for this particular contest. As I said, this is a segment, Fantasy Masterclass, we will keep doing for all India games. Hopefully these suggestions come of use. As Indian fans, the job is to back the team. Keep backing the team in good and bad. It's a good team. Minor refinements and we will be there for the World Cup. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Bodiada. That was a lovely fantasy playing 11. And to all the viewers, even you can take part in the playing 11 and put forward your thoughts on whom you would like to see take the field. And speaking of playing 11s, if I can take this opportunity to read out the playing 11s of both India and Afghanistan, starting with team Afghanistan, since they have won the toss and elected to bowl first. Here it goes. Hazratullah Zazai, Rahmanullah Gurbaz, wicketkeeper, Ibrahim Zadran, Kareem Jannat, Najibullah Zadran, Muhammad Nabi, captain, Rashid Khan, Azmatullah Omarzai, Farid Ahmad, Mujibur Rahman, and Fazal Haq Faruqi. That's Afghanistan. And Team India have today made multiple changes to their playing 11. The playing 11 goes as follows, but also an important update is today Rohit Sharma has been rested and the captaincy has been given to KL Rahul. So KL Rahul is our captain for today. Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant wicket-keeper, Deepak Huda, Dinesh Karthik, Akshar Patel, Deepak Chahar, Ravichandran Ashwin, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and Arshdeep Singh. So beginning with Joyda, your thoughts on India making so many changes to their playing 11?
Yeah, I think this is I saw something like this happening. The reason being that they're out of the tournament. There are a lot of guys who haven't got a chance. Dinesh Karthik played the first game, didn't bat or bowl, and then after that he was didn't play, so he'll get a chance to show his skills. Deepak Chahar is on the way back. Bishnoi played a good game. After that, he was not in the scheme of things. So it's a great opportunity for everybody to get some game time. And I think the reason KL Rahul is playing is because they want him back in form. I mean, he's not at his best. He hasn't played for a long time, injury and issues. We really need him at the top. We need him at his best at the top is the right way to go about it. And he's not at his best now. And we've got a couple of more bilateral series, after which we'll be, that flight to Australia will take off. So it's very, very important for all of our players to hit form. And I'm not really surprised. I think I was expecting this for everybody to get a game. And I hope some of them, make use of it. Today Deepak Chahar comes, bowls a 4 overs, 22-3 spell, or somebody bowls well in the slog. Bowling in the slog has been a bit of an issue. I know Bumrah is not there. We know that, Harshal is missing. But you have to still go with what it is. I mean, there could be players injured in the World Cup as well. But you still need your backup. And today is a great day for these youngsters to put their hand up and say, okay, I'm the one who's going to, do it for India.
Absolutely. And Nishant, I'll come to you. But obvious decision by Afghanistan to opt to bowl whenever it is to win a toss in Dubai. If you could tell us, what is it with the Dubai pitches that, bowling first always aids them? Yes, definitely. We have discussed it on multiple times. But why I'm asking this question is because of that match yesterday. Afghanistan was so phenomenal, and to lose a game by just one wicket, Afghanistan was so good in their performance. They fought so well, but still nothing to take away from Pakistan. Even Pakistan were brilliant. Take a look at Naseem Shah, how he ended the game. But Pakistan won the toss and elected to bowl. So what is it with winning the toss and opting to bowl in UAE? Why is it so but obvious?
I think yesterday's game cannot be considered in this because that game was played at Sharjah, completely different venue. This is a different venue. This is Dubai. And having said that, Dubai, yes, there has been an issue, and it's an issue which has been there for a while now. And I think when you look at the wicket, it doesn't look like that it will. It looks like both the teams will have equal opportunity irrespective of the toss. But somehow majority of the matches. And if I'm not wrong, in the last 20 games, 99% of the matches are won by the team that has batted second. So I think in the later part of the game, the wicket binds well. It gets a little bit of dew, so batting becomes easy. It's easy to hit fast bowlers, especially on the up, which sometimes is difficult when you're starting the game. So that is one issue, mm, and to be honest, it's not good for the game actually. Like if when you know at a venue that winning the toss more or less seals the game for you, is not a good sign for the game. Like look at the entire World Cup in Dubai. It was uh, written like, okay, whoever will win the toss will bowl first and win the match, and
And
that is
that's
what
not going to
happened.
happen in Australia. That's
Yeah,
not going to happen in Australia.
absolutely. I completely agree with you, Dada. And I think barring Australia, who chased semi-finals against New Zealand and the finals against semi-finals against Pakistan, they chased a good total, and finals against New Zealand, they won both the games while uh, mm, while chasing. So it just again proves that all the important games had a very similar pattern, and that is something which, because we play a lot of cricket in UAE now due to different reasons, and I think that is why it is very
बहुत
important
ज्यादा
for the groundsmen or the people who are there to make sure that there is an equal opportunity for both the teams. Obviously, when you win the toss, you have a slight advantage over the others because you can make the better use of the conditions than the other team. So but in a game like 2020, in test match, I can still see that toss plays a vital role, because by the end of the fifth day, wicket can have a very different nature. But in a game like 2020, it should be even stevens for both the teams, because it's a 40 over game, and it is unfair that the result is so you can like really predict the result, and you will not go wrong unless you have played a very very bad first innings. You bowled very badly and you gave away 230, 240 runs, then it is a different story. Anything under 180 is easily chaseable on the Dubai wicket.
Yes, and as I, keep following the updates, we have Rashid Khan. Rashid Khan is such a sensational player of Afghanistan, and he has put forward his thoughts on two of his favorite players from India, KL Rahul and Virat Kohli. He recently had his comments on how he would like to deliver to somebody of KL Rahul's capability. So, can I once again request my production team to play the comments which Rashid Khan had placed on how he would like to bowl to KL Rahul?
बहुत ज्यादा बिलीव रखता हूँ कि मेरा अपने जो स्किल्स हैं, हमने अपने स्किल जो है ना, मैंने उसको भूलना नहीं है कि मेरा स्ट्रेंथ क्या है और मेरा वीकनेस क्या है, मैं कहाँ से रन खा सकता हूँ, कहाँ पे डालूं तो मैं नहीं खा सकता। एक बात जो है मैंने हमेशा माइंड में नहीं लाई है, वो बैट्समैन है, मैंने कभी भी बैट्समैन को माइंड में नहीं लाया, क्योंकि आप जब बैट्समैन को ज्यादा माइंड में लाते हो तो जो है ना, हाफ आपका जो अटेंशन होता है वो जाता है बैट्समैन की तरफ और फिर हाफ अपने बॉलिंग पे, तो फिर मेरे हिसाब से उस कंडीशन में खुद को एडजस्ट करना थोड़ा थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा। एक ही चीज मैं हमेशा माइंड में रखता हूँ कि मेरा लाइन और लेंथ है, वो मेरा स्ट्रेंथ है, वो मेरा सब कुछ है अगेंस्ट एनी बैट्समैन अराउंड द वर्ल्ड जो भी बैटिंग कर रहा है। जब तक मैं अपना एरिया नहीं छोड़ूंगा, जब तक उस जगह पे मैं कंसिस्टेंटली बॉलिंग करूंगा, तो वो मेरी कामयाबी है। अगर उस जगह पे वो मुझ पे रिस्क ले रहा है, बड़े शॉट मार रहा है, तो ज्यादा चांसेस है कि मैं उसको आउट कर लूं। अगर मैं ऊपर कर लूं और कुछ एक्स्ट्रा करने की कोशिश करूं कि यार अभी मैं नई टीम में आया हूँ, नया बैट्समैन है, मैं उसको जरूर आउट करूंगा लेग बिफोर, नहीं, वो टाइम के साथ ही होगा। अगर आप थोड़ा पेशेंट रखोगे, 24 बॉल इज टू मेनी फॉर एनी बैट्समैन, आप बैट्समैन को थोड़ा सेट करते हो कि यार अभी मैं उसको कौन सी बॉलिंग डालू, पिछले गेम में मैंने इसको क्या माइंड से बॉलिंग डाली थी, इस मैच में मैं कौन से माइंड से डालू, तो मैं उस चीज पे ज्यादा फोकस रखता हूँ। और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज जो मेरा है वो लाइन और लेंथ है, मैं उस पर ज्यादा फोकस करता हूँ।
So he focuses on his line and length more. Joyda, you heard Rashid Khan what he had to say. What do you make of his comments on, especially KL Rahul struggling so much with his form?
No, no. I think what he's saying here is how he bowls to good batters. And he's saying he doesn't look at the batters, he looks at his game plan. See, what often happens is it's a game between two individuals at the end of the day. It's the bowler and the batter. I know it's a team game, but if you narrow it down, it's between two individuals. So sometimes the individuals have different skill set. If you are bowling to a KL Rahul and a Rohit together, or a KL and a Virat together, or a KL and a Surya together, then they have different skill sets. You need to bowl to different areas to them, because what is weakness for Surya might be a strength for Virat, and vice versa. So that is the reason why he's saying that he sticks to his game plans. And he made a very important point. He says that I have a lot of faith in my line and length. That's his weapon. ये उनकी जान है. It's the thing on which his bowling depends on. उसके बलबूते पे उन्होंने इधर पहुंचा है. That he cannot give away. Everybody, like somebody has technique, somebody has temperament, somebody has, the way they approach, strong mindset. For a bowler, his ability to bowl wherever he wants, under pressure. Now, the key word here is under pressure. I have seen many people in my life bowl, in the nets, in easy situations, but under the gun, they lose their way. And this is not a physical issue, it's probably a mental issue, it's probably a psychological issue, not being able to handle the pressure. And I feel for them, because it's happened in front of my own eyes with the state or the zone, where really good guys work really hard, they bowl all day, and then when the time comes, they freeze. So that is special. These Bumrahs and Bhuvis and Rashid, the guys who do it under pressure, they handle that last bit better. And that ultimately is the difference between the greats and the not so greats.
Definitely. And continuing on discussion on Rashid Khan, as he was talking about, like you highlighted, Joyda, that how he would like to bowl to very good batsmen like KL Rahul. He also went on to express his thoughts on Virat Kohli. And again, we have another video where he expressed his thoughts on how he would like to play Virat Kohli and what he feels about him. So can we have the video, please?
तो मैं कभी भी माइंड में नहीं लाता कि उसको आउट करूं. मैं यही सोचता हूं कि उसके साथ एक अच्छा कंपटीशन हो जाए. वो कोशिश करे मुझे चौके मारे, मैं कोशिश करूं उसको जो है ना बीट करूं, एज लग जाए, पैड पे लग जाए. मैं इस चीज पे ज्यादा फोकस करता हूं. तो यही एक कंपटीशन होता है जो मुझे ज्यादा पसंद है. मैं जब भी उसके अगेंस्ट बॉलिंग करता हूं, मुझे बहुत वो एनर्जी मिलती है कि यार अभी ठीक है. वो एक ऐसा प्लेयर है कि आप जब उसको बॉलिंग में डालता हो तो मैं सोचता हूँ कि भाई अगर मैंने इसको लूज बॉल दी तो चौका है, क्योंकि ये एक गैप में मारेगा. एक ऐसा प्लेयर है कि गैप में मारेगा, आपको मौका नहीं देगा. अगर दूसरा एक बैट्समैन है कि हार्ड हिटर है, अगर उसको लूज बॉल मिले तो वो कोशिश करे कि छक्का मारे, तो उसमें फिर वो आउट भी हो सकता है. ये एक ऐसा प्लेयर है कि अगर आप लूज बॉल करोगे तो ये गैप में मारेगा, अगर अच्छा बॉल करोगे तो भी गैप में मारेगा, एक लेगा या दो लेगा आपसे. तो ये एक ऐसी कंपटीशन होती है कि मुझे बहुत ज्यादा एक्साइटमेंट है कि यार मैं जब उसको बॉलिंग डालता हूँ तो मेरा फोकस लेवल जो है ना 100 से 200 हो जाता है कि यार अभी इस बंदे को जो है ना 0% लूज बॉल, अगर इसको तोड़ा भी दिया तो ये इतना स्मार्ट है, इतना क्विक है कि बॉल को पिक करता है और गैप में मारता है. ये बड़ी चीज उसकी है कि वो गैप में मारता है. फिर आपको जो है ना बहुत सी चीजें सोचनी पड़ती है. तो इस तरह बैट्समैन को मजा आता है. प्रेशर होता है, प्रेशर में आप बॉलिंग डालते हो, फिर आपके नर्व्स भी टेस्ट होते हैं. तो मैं काफी ज्यादा एंजॉय करता हूँ. और जब आप ज्यादा फोकस होते हो इस तरह बैट्समैन को, तो फिर डेफिनेटली आपको विकेट भी उस टाइम मिल जाती है अगर आप ज्यादा कंसिस्टेंट रहो, काम रहो, कूल रहो और अपनी जगह पे बॉलिंग करो.
Such a player is Virat Kohli. Even the best like Rashid Khan are always so wary. So Nishant, what did you feel on hearing Rashid's comments on whenever he has to bowl to Virat Kohli?
I think he summed it up very nicely, and I have seen they both have a lot of mutual respect and about for each other. I saw a video of Virat Kohli in front of Rashid Khan imitating him how he hits sixes, and that was a really funny video. Virat was telling that other people have to really they have a good bat swing, they have a follow through, and here is a guy who just जैसे चांटा मारते हैं ना, ऐसे करके बॉल को मारता है और छक्का हो जाता है. So he said that extremely talented players. Probably Rashid Khan will go down as one of the greatest who have played the game in the 2020 format at least.
And he's 21.
and he's 21. Like, just imagine. And he will go down, definitely go down as one of the greatest in this white ball cricket. And his journey has been amazing, from where he started, in which country they live, the kind of hardships they go through to be here where they are. So Afghanistan, whatever they do, it's phenomenal. And on the other hand, Virat Kohli, obviously the kind of player he is, he's a player of his generation. Like, he's a player of this generation, and probably one of the best batsmen which we have seen in the recent years. So in that case, he will command that respect, and he has earned that respect, and everyone will give him that respect. So uh, I really like. And but one thing which he mentions very clearly is that when you are playing a game of cricket, off the field it's Virat Kohli, off the field it's the Rashid Khan, the Virat Kohli, the Rohit Sharma, the Chris Gale. But on the field, you don't play the bowler, you play the ball. Likewise, you don't see the batsman. As a batter, you as a bowler, you don't see the batter. You see what you have to do against him. So at that point, individuals don't matter. What matters is that what you are going to do with your skill.
Definitely. And final quick question to Joyda before I come up to my last round of questions is, Joyda, Team India, you had a look at the playing 11. They have made so many changes today, not just one. The
Three,
previous clash, it was one change. Yes. Yes,
three changes.
Joyda. So, yes, Joyda. So, what do you make of it? Because. Yes, definitely their campaign has ended, but still they have taken up this initiative to think a lot on the playing 11 and find play their final players, make three changes. What do you think, what do you make of this thought process?
I mean, it's evident in the last 3, 4 months of Indian cricket that the ploy has been that we're going to try a lot of players. Okay. Now things have not gone right, and we can criticize that, we can back that. That's a different question because nobody knows the results. Now, England does that a lot. England has different sets of players for white ball and red ball cricket. There are only two players who used to play white ball and red ball, which was Ben Stokes and Johnny Bairstow. Now, even Ben Stokes has given up one-day cricket. So there's only one player, Johnny Bairstow, who
Yes,
plays all three. So
yes.
whether India is going towards that, whether India wants to go towards that, is that the way forward? Time will tell. But it is difficult to play all three versions at the same level. That is for sure. Now, this year
Yes.
with the T20 World Cup, Asia Cup used to be 50 overs, but it's T20. Everything has become T20 oriented now because you're getting ready for the World Cup, and rightly so. Now, why isn't Mohammad Shami there? Now, these are the questions nobody asked when the flight took off. But
Yes.
everybody's asking now because it's a result oriented. Now, if Rahul Dravid also knew this was going to be the result and as the selectors, then Shami wouldn't have been there. Now, on
Yes.
the other hand, I would also like to bring this point that what if India went and Arshdeep and everybody did really well, India wins the tournament and comes back, then unless you give these guys a chance, how will you ever know how good they are or if they are ready or not?
Yes.
But
Yes.
to go through this, you might even lose a tournament. Yeah, Nishan.
I just want to add to what Dada is saying. When right, Dada pointed towards very right direction. He said when the flight took off, no one was asking questions about this team because things looked very settled. It looked like this is a very settled unit, and they will do well in Asia Cup, and this would be the core of the team. This will be the team combination. But the bad news is, there's a bad news and there's a good news in this both cases. Uh, the bad news is that this tournament has exposed few weaknesses in this team. Their batting order is still not sorted, and they are still trying to find their death bowler, because Bhuvneshwar Kumar suddenly in the last two games, especially, just imagine you are a senior for last, you have been playing cricket for a decade, and the last over is not bowled by you but by Arshdeep Singh. So it just shows that what kind of form you are in. So overall, Indian team still needs to figure out what would be their best 11. And the good news is that they have two T20 series before going to the Australia, and that is against Australia and South Africa, both very good
Nishan,
sides. And
Nishan,
I
just
think
on
that
this, Nishan, just on this, I know Bhuvi's had two poor games, but two poor games which Indian batter has not had.
No, I completely agree with you. What I'm saying is that
I'll
they
show you
have,
instances of the greats. If you talk about Lasith Malinga, three poor games in a row.
yeah,
See, at the end of the day, this game is about form. And we are all very heartbroken and disappointed that India hasn't played well. But in this, form is not something that you can buy. You can have at your own disposal whenever you want. In this
yeah,
tournament, our batting and our bowling form was not good enough.
yeah.
Simple.
It's very simple.
If
Yeah,
it, otherwise, if the top seed is going to win every time, then nobody else will go.
yeah,
India is going number one team, Australia, finals, they are playing, nobody else. But even when Australia goes, in 1983, we won the World Cup because West Indies were not in form on the 15th of July or June or whenever it was. 15th of July. They weren't in form, but we didn't complain because we benefited from that. Your skill set on that given day or on that given week has to be good. And this week was we have not played well. That's why sometimes we see a football team of a Barcelona, Real Madrid win 4-0 and the next week lose 1-0 to a lower team. Why? Same team, same players. Why? Because it's a question of form. Yeah, I know
and I
Max is
also
going to
think
start.
I agree with Dada. I think what I was trying to say here was that India knows that they have few areas to look at before they go to Australia, and this it's I think it's a very timely wake up call. Also,
Yeah,
it's a
I
very
agree.
timely wake up call. You know, if all this had happened in Australia, you know, I think any cricket fan, if you ask him, okay, we will lose the Asia Cup, but we will win the World Cup, they will say happily take it. Today we will take that sadness, but tomorrow it will be great happiness. What I am really looking forward to today is Rishabh Pant opening the innings, because we have been talking time and again, everyone is talking about that India's top 3, there is an issue and that needs to be resolved. I think Rishabh Pant opening the innings can be used very well. His he's an impact player. He likes to play his shots, and I think the best place to play bat him would be that opening slot where he will have fielders inside the ring, and he can create maximum impact there. So I really hope that he does good today, because that will be great news for Indian cricket.
Gentlemen, we are just moments away from the commencement of this game, so let's have matchups and your player of the match. Joyda.
My player of the match, I'm going to go with Deepak Chair. I like the guy. I think he's coming in. He was injured for a long time. I'm going to go with him.
Okay.
And the matchups again will be, I think, are bowling against their batting at the tougher time, which is the back end. The toss is playing such a vital part. I'm not fond of any game where the toss decides so much, especially T20. 50 overs,
Yes,
I can still understand. Test match, I'm totally for it. But in such a
Yeah.
short game, you cannot have anything biased. And I'm saying this with absolute, fairness to both the teams. I mean, I wouldn't want
yes,
India to win every toss either. Yeah.
yes, definitely.
Exactly.
Nishant.
My player of the match would be Rishabh Pant, because I really want to back him. I really
Okay.
want to see him doing well at the opening slot. Our history suggests that great players, good players, if they are given an opportunity in white ball cricket to open the innings, they have turned out to be great players. And there is a player called Sachin Tendulkar. There's a player called Virendra Sehwag. There is a player called Saurav Ganguly who lives in Behala, which is not very far from your place. And I think Rishabh Pant falls in that category. And my matchup today would be Afghanistan spinners against Indian batting, because that is their main strength. They
Definitely.
they really back their spinners. Even
Yes.
yesterday against Pakistan, they made it so tough for Pakistan to chase those 129 runs. But one
Yes.
thing before we leave, very quickly, I think we will have to see how Afghanistan turns up today. They had a very tough game. It's really hot and humid in of Sharjah. It was really hot and humid, and they will
Uh,
be coming
yes.
back to back match.
Gentlemen, can I request both of you to please save up all your stories, because I am looking forward to at least to a very lengthy and interesting post-match show. The players are out, our openers are out. KL Rahul is on the verge of taking his position. So this was the pre-match show of the Super Force clash between India and Afghanistan. And ladies and gentlemen, you were hearing my panelists Jaideep Mukherjee and Nishant Jeet Arora. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining and sharing your thoughts. And let's meet on the other side, the post-match show. And do not forget to share your insights with all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.